What is up guys, Alex here. I have the brand new DualSense controller from Sony or PlayStation, whichever one you want to say. In this video, of course, I'll be reviewing this controller, seeing if you should actually buy, because as you can see, I have it in my hands right now, and then you can actually go out and buy it. I'm going to test it out with the computer and the PlayStation 4 to see if it works, because you can test out the PlayStation 4 controller with the PS3, and if you have it connected, it'll work the same pretty much. It's just that this middle button will not work if you're connecting your PS4 controller to the PS3. But overall, this is going to be a quick review on this new controller, seeing if it works, the latency, the controllers, talking about the specs. But yeah, let's get on into the video. So first things first, I want to mention is the design. The design is super good. I like it a lot. They did remove the light bar at the back from this controller, so you have it now in the sides once it's turned on. So this of course saves battery, right? Then you have the buttons. They're transparent, which I also like. You can kind of see how the light shines through them. When you shine it through, before they were just black and they had the controllers, but now it's transparent. So you see that they sort of painted the O and the symbols on the controller, and then applied this piece to it over the top. It's really good. I'm not gonna say, maybe I'm just used to it, but I like this one better. I maybe just be used to it, but this one are just the one on the DualSense controller are slimmer. So how do I say this? On these ones, on the DualShock 4, they're thicker. So I guess I'm just used to this one, but I'm pretty sure over time I will get used to this DualSense controller. It is super comfortable though. I'm not gonna lie, I could definitely see this being in my hand for more than 5 hours a day. The triggers are also really good. It does have texture on the back of the controller. It's not the same texture as the Xbox Elite Series 2. It's definitely not the one on the Xbox Elite Series 2. It's a little bit more noticeable, definitely. Because this is an Elite Series 2 controller. Now, if it was with the regular Xbox One S or the X controller, then there's different. But definitely, it is also different than from the DualShock 4 controller. I don't know. I just feel like this one is not as comfortable, but I may just be, used to the DualShock 4 controller. But overall, this controller, it is actually really comfortable. The triggers are good too, the buttons and everything. Now, they did change the PS4 logo. So the PS4 logo before, it would be on a button as it was on the DualShock 4. Now they removed that button and it's sort of engraved onto the controller itself, so it's a little bit sort of harder to press now, but you can definitely get used to it as well. It has a built-in mute microphone button, so that way you don't have to use your the microphone or the kill switch that is on your headphones. Just mute it. Right, you have it on the controller if you have it connected via aux cord. If you have it connected to your PlayStation 5, that's an entirely different story. But overall, it does come with a mute button, and that's pretty much it about this controller. Now, the bottom of the controller, it's flat. So, since it's flat, I don't know, maybe it could stand on its own, but it's flat at the bottom. I'm guessing this is for the charging station that it comes with, and the options button and the share button are also placed really well. I would say that they're higher placed than they were on the DualShock 4 controller. This makes it just easier to reach these controllers, whenever you're gonna go into options or whenever you're gonna start streaming. And I do like the fact that they removed the light bar at the back, and they just have a USB Type-C, which again they also removed instead of a micro USB. And I'm always gonna say that USB Type-C is the best, sort of port for your charging, or if you're gonna connect something, because it's just so easy to connect and it's fast at the same time. Now, the controller battery is gonna last a long time, since they did remove that LED from the back. So this controller is of course gonna last a really long time, because it has a 15 or 1560 milliamp hour battery. So this could definitely last you 5 to 8 hours, without the controller dying. And they did remove that light bar at the back. Now the light bar is a little bit more slimmer, so it doesn't consume as much battery as it used to. It has a built-in microphone, so you don't need to use your headset if you don't have one. But I'm pretty sure this mute button is for that built-in microphone. But if it does work with an external pair of headphones, then that's gonna be really good, and I'm gonna give them a point for that. But I haven't tested it out with external headphones yet. It is super comfortable. Again, I feel like you could get used to it though, because it's a bigger version than the DualShock 4, and I've been using the DualShock 4 since the PlayStation 4 came out, so I'm used to that one. But yeah, other than that, this is pretty much it on the controller. You know, the battery, the comfortableness is, and now I'm gonna mention like the triggers and, you know, the feedback that this controller gives you when you're playing games. So this controller has something called haptic feedback. Haptic feedback would be where it's basically more vibrations. Like if you're driving a car, you're gonna feel the vibrations a little bit better and a little bit more updated. So you're feeling more from the controller physically when you're playing from, like, if you're playing, I don't know, Need for Speed or other games, like if you're driving a car in Fortnite or something like that. I don't know, I guess you're just gonna feel more with the vibrator or the motors in the controller with this haptic feedback. And that's pretty much what it means. But be more physically responsive feedback. So this controller has something called haptic feedback. This pretty much means that you're going to feel more response from your game on the controller, because I guess they have updated motors or something. So you're going to just feel more vibrations with haptic feedback. Then you have something called adaptive triggers. So games like Call of Duty Modern Warfare, I guess Fortnite, I don't know, this controller will adapt to Fortnite and the game you're playing pretty much. Let's say you're playing Call of Duty Modern Warfare, Warzone, or Modern Warfare, like multiplayer. This controller will adapt to like the recoil. It's going to be harder, like it's going to pretty much feel like a regular trigger, like if you're going to trigger like a gun or a bow. Pretty much when you're triggering a gun, right, I'm guessing that in the real world, like here in real life, you're gonna have to press it hard. But here is gonna adapt to that, so it's gonna get more tense as you're like pressing down, like if you were aiming a bow. So if you go slowly, if you go fast, of course the characters are gonna go boom like that fast. But if you do it slowly, right, then the bow's of course just gonna charge back. And then once you let go, boom, let's go. So like an actual like bow, which is, you know, again, you're gonna feel more in depth into the game, and you're gonna have more sense of like feel. Now, let's say you're driving a car, is it the same if you're gonna turn or if you're like speeding up? If it's gonna get more tense as you speed up, right? And if you like hit that full, like how do you say this, like if you hit full mileage or miles per hour, is it just gonna stop and stop you from pushing it down because you've already hit like the max miles per hour? Don't know, we do have to test it out though. Nobody has really tested it out in games. But yeah, those are pretty much all the specs, or not all the specs. Then you have the share button. Pretty much captures your games, like your kills, if you have it once you press it. Pretty much like the share button that the DualShock 4 has, but a little bit more updated. Again, you have the built-in microphone, so now you don't have to buy a microphone. But usually they do come, bring a pair of like headphones, like a one-sided pair of headphones in the box that you're able to use. And if that one breaks, I guess you're just gonna have to buy one. But they usually come with that in the PlayStation box. But if in case you don't have it, it does have a built-in microphone. Now I don't know if that microphone is good or not, but it also has a headphone jack, and you could just use your headphones. Well, I mean, I was gonna say the ones that your phone brings, but you know, everybody's switching to having a USB Type-C headphone jack or cord pretty much. But overall, I'm just gonna say that that's pretty much it for this controller. You know, the triggers are adaptive. Everything is pretty much adaptive. The triggers, the sense, you know, the vibration is going to be more with the haptic feedback. So you're going to be driving a car, you're going to be feeling that road in your hands pretty much. Like you could tap it, you could feel like the insides pretty much shake. And the, you know, motors or the triggers, they're a little bit more tense right out the box. I feel like they changed like the switch inside of it, and I guess the stabilizers, if you will, for them to be a little bit more tense. Right here, yeah, right, it's not as loud as well from the vibration. But other than that, this is pretty much it for all these specs. Now I'm gonna go into the computer, test it out with Steam and with the regular PlayStation 4 to see if it works. If it doesn't work, I don't know what to say. But if it doesn't work, then I don't know if PlayStation is gonna come out with a update that's gonna, you know, allow for this for the PS5 or controller to work with the PlayStation 4. But I hope they do, because I really want to use this controller. But yeah, let's go into the computer, test out Steam and the PlayStation 4 games. So here I am. As you guys can see, you have the PS4 thingy right there, or interface. I have, this is a PS4 controller that I use with my PS4. I also have the PS5 controller, and I'm going to be trying and connecting it to the PS4 via Bluetooth. As you can see, this controller is working right here. It's working fine right there. See, it's working. So if I go here to devices on the PS4 right here, like devices right here, and I go to Bluetooth devices, wireless controller would be the PS5 controller, since I've already tried to connect it. All I really have to do is turn on pairing mode on this controller, which you just hold the PlayStation button and the share button until the PS4 starts, or the controller starts like flashing lights. Then it should appear on the PS4. So if I click this, it's gonna start looking for this controller, but since I connected it to the computer, I have to go back to the PS4 and connect it. So this is like off the computer's connectivity. So here we have all these other devices that are around the house. So I'm gonna go connect it to the PS4 and see if it works or not. So there, the controller is connected. As you can see, if I show you guys, the lights they're on right there. They just don't show as much as the old PS4 controller, I guess to like save battery. But there it is connected. Now you see where it says DualShock 4, that is my name, and it's right next to it, right? So I'm guessing because of its account that the controller is not connected to it. So if I try and go over here to like profiles and changes the profile on this PS4 to this one right here, would it connect to the other controller? Right, as you can see, like they're different colors, but overall, if I still don't do it, it doesn't connect to the PS4. I'm holding on the PlayStation button to see if it's even connected, and it just doesn't work. I'm pressing every single button and it's not working. Now let's change it back to the other profile right here, and it still doesn't work. And even if I do disconnect this DualShock 4 controller, it still won't connect automatically to the PlayStation 5 controller. I don't know what they're gonna do with this. Maybe in the future they would software update the PS4 so it's able to connect to the PlayStation 5, but see, or yeah, to the PlayStation 4. So right here, DualShock 4, disconnect, right? Why doesn't it automatically connect to the PlayStation 5? Right there, so like it's not connected. And even if I try and turn it on, even though it is already on, it doesn't connect. So here I have a USB to Type-C, and I connect it. It should work. It still doesn't work. So we found out it doesn't work on this PlayStation 4. Now I'm gonna go on into the computer and show you guys if it works there or not. But I don't know if they're gonna change this in the future. They're pretty much forcing you to buy a PlayStation 5 in order to use this controller. This controller has some pretty cool features that I mentioned, of course, but it would be a blast if if you were able to connect to your computer, or I mean, I'm gonna say that right now, but if you're able to connect to your PS4 and use this controller because of the features that it has. But I'm gonna go to the computer and try out this DualSense controller. So there, the PlayStation is off and this controller turned off. What's weird is that the controller is off. Maybe we didn't set it up right. Maybe we have to turn this controller on first and then turn on the PS4, which is like sort of weird. But here, this is the DualShock 4, so I'm gonna take the USB Type-C and connect it to see if it works with Steam, as I have it right here. So boom, as you can see, I have the cord right there and it is connected. It is flashing orange, or not flashing orange, but like simulating that the controller is actually charging. And if I do try and move on Steam right here, like as you can see right there, it figures it as a Xbox controller for some reason. Right, but I'm pressing O, A, or yeah, X, and it's just not working for some reason. As you can see, maybe it has some delay, but right now I'm not seeing no sort of delay while connecting it. And yeah, it is just not working whatsoever. So yeah, this controller just doesn't work on PC or on PlayStation. As you guys can see, I'm like moving it around and it's just not working. The reason I'm looking off to the side because there's a monitor right here. Yeah, it's just not working with the computer. It's charging, right, but it's just not moving whatsoever. And even if I do open up a game, like I'm gonna take the mouse, I'm gonna open up Marvel's Avengers right here, right? You see, look, it's switching between controller and mouse, but so far, look right there, but it has a lot of latency. Yeah, so it works, but the latency is like a couple of seconds like off. So I just moved it to move it again, But yeah, the latency is a super huge. Maybe they'll, I don't know, change it in the future so you're actually able to use it. But overall, it's not working on PC, and I've tried it out and opened up Marvel's Avengers and see if it works. It works fine with this PS4 controller. It works just fine if I connect it, but with this PlayStation 5 controller, it doesn't work. So maybe it's just the model that I got or the unit that I got, but I've seen other people use their PlayStation 4 with this controller and it's working just fine. So I'm gonna return this, get a new one, and then try it out then. But so far this controller is not working. But yeah, now let's go into some more of the specs for this DualSense controller. Now you guys just saw it didn't work with you know, of course I'm recording this after I did the game test, but it didn't work with Steam. I don't know what happened, and it did work, but the latency was just like too big. It was like a couple seconds off. I would like go up and it would just 2 seconds later, boom, go up. With the PlayStation 4 controller, it worked just fine with the DualShock 4. I don't know if they're gonna make an update for this, but with Steam it didn't work, and it also didn't work with the PlayStation 4. I tried it, I connected via Bluetooth and via a USB to USB Type-C, and it also didn't work. I don't know if they're gonna bring an update to allow USB Type-C on their PlayStation 4, but if they do, I'm definitely gonna be trying out this controller. But that was all. I really wished it would have worked. It worked from time to time on Steam, but when it did work, the latency was just so big. I just decided not to use the controller because it didn't. And then the one on the PlayStation DualShock 4, it worked just fine on Avengers and on the regular PlayStation 4. But yeah, this is pretty much it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I think you guys can pick up this controller right now, but I don't recommend it too because as I told you, it didn't work with the PS4. I don't know if this is just this model that I got right here, this unit, that didn't work, like the Bluetooth was broken or something. And speaking of Bluetooth, it does come with Bluetooth 5.1 as well, so I don't know if this unit is broken or not. But yeah, that's all I gotta say for this controller. I'm not gonna give it a full pointing because the controller, this one just may be broken and they might come out with an update, so I'm just gonna postpone that point. I'm not gonna give it a 9 out of 10 or an 8 or a 7 because, you know, this controller is fairly new. Like, the system for it hasn't even come out yet, so again, I'm not gonna give it a point yet. But overall, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Leave a like, subscribe, and yeah, I'll see you guys later. Peace out.